Hello friends, in this video I'm going to show you how to create primary DNS zone in Windows Server 2016. A DNS zone is a contiguous portion of a DNS namespace managed by one or more DNS servers. DNS zones contain resource records that specify the name of the DNS server authoritative for the DNS zone, called start of authority record, and the names and IP address of all DNS servers in the zone, called name servers record, and the names and IP address of other hosts known as a host record and their alias called CNAME records. There are at least 3 possible DNS server zone type. First one is primary, second secondary, and the third one is a stub zone. In this video demonstration, we will only discuss about primary DNS zone. A primary zone is a main DNS zone that providing editable or writable DNS data, allowing the DNS server to answer DNS name resolution queries from clients and other servers authoritatively for the portion of the DNS namespace it is set up for. Before installing DNS server, make sure you have a static IP address assigned on your server. So let's check the IP configuration on our server. Select network connections, select your LAN adapter, select properties, select Internet Protocol version 4 and select properties. As you can see, I assign a one static IP address and that is 192.168.1.7. Your preferred DNS should be the server itself, either the 127.0.0.1 or the whatever your server's IP address is this. In my case, I assign the IP address of my server itself and that is 192.168.1.7. Let's click on close. Now let's open the server manager to install DNS server role on the server. On the server manager dashboard, click on add roles and features. On before you begin page, click on next. Select role based or feature based installation and then click on next. Select your server and in my case that is server-2016. Select the server and then click on next. On select server role screen, select DNS server. Click on add feature to add features that is required by DNS server. Click on next. On the screen, we do not have to install any additional features, just leave it to default and then click on next. On the screen, you can read the brief overview information about the DNS. Once you read, then click on next. Now let's click on install to start the DNS server installation process. Once installation completes, click on close to close this console. Now let's click on tools and select DNS to open DNS manager. Select your server, in my case that is a server-2016 and expand it. Now here, expand forward lookup zone and right click on forward lookup zone and select new zone. On the new zone wizard welcome screen, click on next to proceed to the next step. On the zone type window, make sure that you have selected primary DNS zone. So select primary zone and then click on next. On the screen, we have to specify the name of our new DNS zone. For this demonstration, I'm going to specify mprtv.com DNS zone and then click on next. By default, the zone stores its data in a file called zonename.dns. The location of this file is system root, system32 and DNS on this server. In our case, the name of this file is mprtv.com.dns. Let's click on next. On the dynamic update page, ensure that the do not allow dynamic update review button is selected. Let's click on next. On the final window, click on finish to complete the primary DNS zone creation process. Once this is done, expand forward lookup zone and here we can see we have a one forward lookup zone name mprtv.com and here you can see we have a start of authority and NS record as well. Now let's create one host record under our primary DNS zone. Right click in a free space and select new host. Now let's specify the name of our new host is www and the FQDN will be www.mprtv.com. Let's specify the IP address. In this example, I'm going to specify the server's IP address itself. Let's click on add host and click on OK and click on done. Now here we can see we have one host record for FTDN www.mprtv.com and the IP address is 192.168.1.7. Now let's create reverse lookup zone as well. So select reverse lookup zone, right click on it and select new zone. click on next. Select primary zone and then click on next. Select IP version 4 reverse lookup zone for IP version 4, and if you want to create a reverse lookup zone for IP version 6, that time you have to select the second box. Now on the screen you have to specify the first 3 octet of your network. In my case that is 192.168.1, and then click on next. So this will also create one file under system root system32 DNS folder, and the name of this file is this for our reverse lookup zone. Let's click on next. Select do not allow dynamic updates and then click on next. On the final windows, click on finish to complete the reverse lookup zone creation process. Now expand reverse lookup zone, and here we can see we have one reverse lookup zone. Now here you can also see we have a startup authority and NS record. Now let's create one pointer record. Let's specify the IP address 7, and for this demonstration I'm going to specify the host name ns1.mprtv.com. Let's click on OK. Now let's use NS lookup to check our DNS server is providing answer to DNS client query or not. Let's select our server, right click on it and select launch NS lookup. Now on the screen you can see our default server is ns1.mprtv.com and the IP address of our server is 192.168.1.7. Now let's specify the FQDN www.mprtv.com and press enter key. Now here you can see we have received answer from our DNS server, and the answer is 192.168.1.7 for FQDN www.mprtv.com. So in this way we can create a primary DNS zone in Windows Server 2016. And that's it for this video demonstration. Thank you for watching this video.